Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm teacher Kaligo Dotto Njige, the teacher of literature in English and the English language from Tanzania. Today I want to share with you about African tradition and customs as one of them portrayed by African writers and the other writers from abroad or Western. African tradition and customs, these are traditions which practiced in Africa. Example of African tradition and customs: polygamy, paying of bride price, widow inheritance, early marriage, forced marriage, female genital mutilation, eating style, food taboo, wearing style, and so on. Dear viewers and listeners of different literary books and analysis, African tradition and customs, as I said, is one of the themes portrayed by different writers from Africa and other parts of the world. Portray this theme so as to educate the learners, especially the students, ordinary students and advanced students, about African culture, about African tradition and customs. That's why I portray these themes, so as to make aware the new generation, the young reader, about African tradition and customs. And another aims of the African writers to portray a theme of African tradition and customs, so as to make aware the young reader about their culture. They should know their culture because African tradition and customs is the one of African identities. If you don't know your culture, we can call you as unhomeless or unconsciousness. Yeah. Okay. I want to explain this theme of African tradition and customs by referring books which wrote by African writer. Example of one of the novel from Nigeria, The Concubine. This novel used in Tanzania, especially in the subject of literature in English. L.H. Ahmad wrote the book of The Concubine so as to make aware the young reader about African culture. Example of one of the African culture portrayed by L.H. Ahmad in his novel The Concubine is the issue of polygamy. Example, we see Ahore's father, Wagbala, has two wives, and also the society of Omokachi, most of the men have many wives. That's why L.H. Ahmad portray a theme of polygamy, or I can say one of the African tradition and customs, because most of Africans believe of marrying many wives as a prestige. Another African tradition and customs portrayed by L.H. Ahmad is the issue of forced marriage and early marriage. We see her who was married when she was below 10 years old by a Kweme. Okay, apart from the novel The Concubine, which is in a subject of literature in English, another book or a novel I can say, The Old Man and the Meadow. This is the novel which used also in a subject of literature in English by Ferdinand Oyono from Cameroon. Ferdinand Oyono portrayed a theme of African tradition and customs, especially in the issue of polygamy. We see Engamba have more than 6 wives. Also portrayed another African tradition and customs like widow inheritance. Example, Engamba inherited the wives of his father, 6 wives, including his mother. Another African tradition and customs, the issue of paying bride price, we see in Kolo, tell us about he want to marry the sixth wife. Apart from the novel, The Old Man is made by Ferdinand Oyono from Cameroon. Another book, or I can say play from the subject of literature in English, the Dilemma of a Ghostie by Christina Ama-Ataido from Ghana. Also, Christina Ama-Ataido portrayed the theme of African tradition and customs, and she shows one of African tradition and customs like the issue of forced marriage. We see Ato Yawson, the main character of the book, forced by his clan to marry Yamesa's daughter. Apart from the forced marriage, and he also portrays one of African tradition and customs, the issue of paying bride price. Ato's clans discuss about bride price. Apart from the play The Dilemma of a Ghost by Christina Ama-Ataido, another book which used in literature in English and also in English language, The Lion and the Joy by Wole Soyinka. Soyinka also portrayed the theme of African tradition and customs, especially on the issue of polygamy. We see Chief Baroka. Chief Baroka have many wives, including Sadiku, Ailatu, and Sid. We see Sid married by Baroka at the end of a book. Apart from the polygamy, another African tradition and customs, the issue of bride price. Soyinka discussed the issue of bride price by referring Lakunde, who don't want to pay bride price to Sid. Bride price is the one of African tradition and customs. That's why Africans believe in paying bride price. Without paying bride price, you have not married. Another African tradition and custom is the issue of widow inheritance. Chief Baroka inherited the wife of his father, Chief Okiki, who is the latest wife is Sadiku. The latest wife of his father, Chief Okiki. And also another African tradition, the custom is African tradition dances. Africans have their own dancing, songs. Okay, these are African tradition and customs portrayed by African writers about the African cultures. Apart from an example of African traditions and customs from few writers of Africa, there are so many African writers wrote different books about the African cultures. Example, Chinua Achebe from Nigeria wrote many books about African culture and customs. Another writers, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, Ngugi wa Thiong'o, Alex Laguma, Leusi Nkosi, Francis Imbuga, Patrick M. Ngugi, and the other African writers. Okay, dear listeners, especially Africans, you should be aware about your culture. You should be proud of your culture. You should respect your culture. You should uh, you should practice the good culture. Example, the issue of paying bride price. You should pay bride price as one of the respect to your society. There should be kindness. You should help your society, and also you should avoid the bad customs, the absolute customs, which can lead to a conflict or can lead to a spread of HIV and the other diseases. Also, dear viewers, listeners from abroad, Europe, America, and Asia, okay, I advise you to respect your culture. If you are American, European, you should respect your culture. You should preserve and also you should adapt your culture. Don't adapt the culture from the other abroad, because in order to avoid the conflict from your society. Let me end here because of time. Thank you.